Yeah, I know I look extra dark today. Like, ignore the black. It's a spooky video. It fits. Also, I'm really sick. This was so hard to do today. I don't get sick. I don't know why this is happening. I don't know if you could hear it in my voice. I hope you can't. I hope I sound normal to you guys because this is a spooky video. I'm so excited. I don't think I've talked about this. No, I've talked about witchcraft. I've talked about maybe black magic, but only because I dabbled in that. The only thing that oh my god, I'm missing a candle. Hold on. We can't do a video without a candle. OMG, I'll bring my voodoo doll too. Jessica, you have a voodoo doll? Of course I have a voodoo doll. This is my voodoo doll. His name is Odin. Do I use him? No, because I don't do voodoo. I don't practice voodoo because it scares me. This is making me miss Halloween. I love Halloween so much. Alright guys, I haven't done this in a while, so bear with me, but today we're gonna talk about horror stories from voodoo. I don't know how to explain voodoo. I'm just gonna look it up. We'll see. Hold on. Voodoo. Let's trust the internet more than me. There's all kinds of voodoo. There's Louisiana voodoo, Haitian voodoo, Dominican voodoo. There's all kinds of different kind of magic. I think there are ghosts, demons, different parallel universes. I believe in aliens. I believe in all kinds of stuff because there's just no way that there isn't. There's just no way. A black religious cult practiced in the Caribbean, however the fuck you want to pronounce it. I've had so many fights over this word. And southern US combining elements of Roman Catholic ritual with traditional African magical and religious rites and characterized by sorcery and spirit possession. Synonyms are witchcraft, magic, black magic, sorcery, wizardry, dark arts, there's all kinds of stuff. I do not mess with voodoo. I'm afraid of it because I don't fully understand it. That's literally the only reason. I've done, we already know what I've done. So anyways, here are a bunch of voodoo stories that I found really interesting. I hope you guys enjoy them, and if you guys want more of these, then let me know in the comments below. Also, if you know any more voodoo horror stories, then let me know. Now, this story is about a ritual that went horribly wrong. During the Haitian voodoo practice Loa, a 6-year-old girl was set on fire by her mother and her grandmother. Loa are Haitian spirits of voodoo and are called upon by practitioners to grant requests. In order to do this, it is believed that someone is chosen to walk through a ring of fire. In this case, the chosen one was the 6-year-old girl. What happened in this case, however, was they changed the ritual up a little bit, which is bad. You just don't do that in any kind of magic. You follow the rules, bitch. The mother poured chemical accelerant all over the 6-year-old's naked body and also formed a ring around her, then set the ring on fire and the baby. What's even worse about this is they ignored the baby's screams and just continued on with the ritual. Like, first of all, that's really distracting if you're trying to do something and someone's just screaming. Second of all, what the fuck? Like what? Like what? You just set your baby on fire. After the ritual, they bathed the child in cold water and then put her to bed. A relative came over and saw her and then forced them to take her to the hospital where they said that she was suffering 2nd and 3rd degree burns. Over 25% of her body, including her face, torso, and legs. She remained there in recovery for nearly 4 months. When questioned, instead of saying she performed a voodoo ritual on her daughter, she instead said that she accidentally spilled boiling water on her while she was cooking rice. The grandmother's testimony was that she was in the bathroom the entire time and didn't see anything happen. Both statements conveniently leave out the blinding evidence of a burnt ritual circle on the floor. Like, wouldn't you try to put that in your lie? Like, why was there a burnt circle on the floor? The mother and grandmother have been charged with 1st-degree reckless endangerment and endangering the welfare of a child, but whatever that kid went through, I can't even imagine. Like, I can't imagine being set on fire by your mother. Honestly, the betrayal. Honestly, where's the loyalty? So the next story I have for you guys is of a 48-year-old man named Joseph Cazot. Joseph Cazot called 911 in September of 2007 admitting to killing his mother-in-law. His defense was, "She was trying to hex me." Cazot had 3 children with the victim's daughter, but apparently he was violent, difficult to get along with, and didn't even want to help with the household finances. Every time I read this, I'm just like, what? Okay, it's not funny. I just laugh when I'm uncomfortable. During a recurring argument with 61-year-old mother-in-law Marie Turtel, Cazot smashed her face into the ground over and over repeatedly after she threatened to use voodoo dust on him. In Cazot's defense, dust and powders can be very dangerous. Just like anthrax or cocaine, This next one is super bizarre. Just listen. 3 infant children were beaten to death by a healer in a village after he claimed that they were possessed by evil spirits. The healer allegedly punched and kicked 2 toddlers and an 8-month-old baby to death during an exorcism ritual. So what's super crazy about the story is that the lieutenant said the exorcist put the entire village in a trance and they just watched him beat these 3 children to death. And they couldn't do anything about it because they were in a trance. This is what he said. On the night of the 18th, the 3-year-old boy was beaten to death and the culprit threw him in the canal. On his return, he continued to beat the 3 young girls and 2 of them were killed. The uncle of the dead boy said that the villagers who lost their senses after the exorcist fed them blessed water, then made them stand in a circle as they chanted and casted spells. The lieutenant also said because of what he did, everyone was out of their mind. His eyes were still glazed. He also said, I still feel afraid of something in my mind. I don't understand what is happening. Some people have gone to other mystics to release themselves from the curse. Police have charged the exorcist with murder, bodily harm, and hiding a dead body. While a majority of the people in this village are Buddhists, they do believe in spirits, astrology, and yadea, which is this magic to ward off evil and misfortune. That story is really crazy because it wasn't just like one person or one like situation or little family. Like it was a village that was like, yo, we were like in a trance. Like we didn't do anything because we were in a trance. Like that blows my mind. Like come on. Now this next story I love so much. I don't remember if I've talked about it before. I probably have just because I love it so much. But I'm going to talk about it again today. Just because this is about voodoo, whatever happened in the story. So this is about Robert the Doll. I don't remember when I've heard about Robert the Doll, but it was probably a couple years ago. And I've always wanted to visit it because when you visit the doll you have to ask for permission before you take a picture or something, and if it doesn't tilt its head in like, yeah, you can take a picture, and you do it anyways, then you're cursed. So what you have to do to break the curse or get out of it is you have to write an apology letter to Robert the Doll, and then they put it on a wall that's like next to the doll so that you can get out of the curse. It's like so weird, but I want to visit it so bad. Maybe I like this story a lot too because I'm so afraid of dolls because growing up my grandparents had like a wall that was just like cases filled with dolls. So as soon as you walked into their house, it was just like a wall of dolls and they were so fucking creepy. I hated it. I hate dolls. I just can't stand dolls. And not in like a, oh, they freak me out. Like, bitch, probably something happened and I'm triggered. This one I remember so vividly because this one like blew my fucking mind. So my sister has this doll, or had this doll because after this shit happened she threw that shit away. So she had this doll that she like perched up on top of her like little nightstand, and this doll looked like a little girl. And so I walked into her room and I saw it like sitting like right in front of me on top of the nightstand, like facing me as I walked into the room, and I was like, okay, whatever. I didn't think anything of it because why would you? So I walked to the other side of the room to get something that was on the side of the bed, and then when I turned around and looked up, it was facing me, like just its head. Like its head turned and fucking faced me. And it's not mechanical, it's not like battery, like it's just a doll. And I was like, I lost my fucking mind. And I told my mom and I was like, Mom, I'm so scared right now. She never believed me when I said anything, but I will never forget that, and I fucking hate that doll. We got rid of it so quick. But after that, don't like dolls. I only keep Odin because he doesn't move and I trust him. So anyways, here's a story of Robert the Doll. In the late 1800s, Thomas Otto and his family moved into a mansion in Key West, Florida, now known as the Artist Home. The Ottos were known to be really stern with their servants, sometimes even mistreating them. It was the treatment of one Haitian servant that kind of starts the ball rolling in this story. This woman was hired to take care of their son, Robert, until one day when Robert's mom supposedly witnessed her practicing black magic in the backyard. Before she left, she gave Robert a lifelike doll that was about 3 feet tall. It was filled with straw and apparently its hair was Robert's hair. Dolls that resembled people were very popular at this time, so no one thought anything of it. It was just a doll. Robert named the doll after himself and actually started dressing him in his own clothes. Robert the doll became his trusty companion. He was with him all the time. He just became his best friend. They would go shopping together, he would save a seat for him at the dinner table, and they would even sleep in the same bed. Soon after, Robert decided to be called by his middle name, Jean. He told his mom that the doll's name was Robert. not his. Jean would talk in a childlike manner while someone would reply in a deeper voice. Jean would sometimes become agitated concerning the Surins and even his mother. She would on occasion burst into the bedroom to see her son cowering in the corner while Robert's perched up in a chair just glaring at him. And this was just the beginning. Household objects would be thrown across the room, his toys would be mutilated, and there would just be giggling that was heard around the house. Whenever any of these took place, Jean would just be like, "That was Robert. Robert did it." The boy obviously took the punishment, but always insisted that it was Robert. One of the aunts stepped in and said maybe you should get rid of the doll, so they took the doll, put him in a box, and then left him in the attic of the house. And it was left there for many years. After the death of his father, Jean was willed the house. So he decided to live there with his new wife. At this time, Jean became an artist and he thought the house was great. There was enough room for him to paint and to put up his art. It was wonderful. He went to the attic, found Robert, dusted him off, and became attached to him again. His wife didn't like this at all. Jean would take the doll with them wherever they went, and he even had a special little chair he would sit in while they slept nearby. His wife moved him back to the attic, and shortly after that their marriage started to fall apart. She apparently went insane and died of unknown reasons, and Jean shortly died after her. Robert supposedly attacked people, sometimes even locking them in the attic. People who passed by claimed to hear laughing in his room. Robert remained alone in the house for a while until a new family moved in and put him back in the attic, and that's apparently where he likes to be, so everything was fine. That doesn't mean he still didn't do crazy shit in the middle of the night, so here we go. The doll was often found throughout the house when no one moved him. On one certain night, Robert was found at the end of the owner's bed giggling, holding a kitchen knife. This was enough for them to be like, "I'm outie, don't want to live here anymore," so they left. Robert was later moved to the East Martello Museum in Key West, Florida, and he's displayed perched in a glass box holding his little lion toy. People still see the doll move. Sometimes he laughs and giggles, sometimes his smile turns into a scowl. One employee dusted him off, turned off all the lights, and then came back the next morning with all the lights on and Robert sitting in a different position with a fresh layer of dust on his shoes. Honestly, where are the security cameras? Like, I want to see this happening. Some say he'll even curse you if you don't get permission to take a photo with him, and if you do and your life is falling apart, you have to write an apology letter. The same thing will happen if you make fun of him. So basically, he's really sensitive, I think. Anyways, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love this stuff. You guys know that. I don't think I've ever talked about voodoo before, so this is kind of new. If you have any more stories you want me to talk about, leave them in the comments below. Follow all of my social media. I talk to you guys all the time, especially on Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already and give this video a thumbs up. You don't have to if you don't want to. I'm just saying. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys when I see you guys. Adios, bitchachos.
Do you love me?